Hello guys and welcome back to MCM Comic Con here in London. We are here with the ESL UK Premierships, the League of Legends semi-final. It's the second one here between Team Infused on the Team Infused on the red side and Team Infused on the blue. No. Okay, right.
Team Infused versus
Team FM on the blue side and Team Infused on the red side. The overlay was confusing me. I am Sona. My co-caster is the gorgeous Scoundrel, and we're already into picks and bans.
Yep, Ergot now going through, and LeBlanc, Irelia again, 100% ban against Tundra. They've gone back to that tactic. They don't want Tundra picking that one up. And actually, FM banning out Nah, so that's going to mean Tundra picking up something slightly more interesting. That top lane. Maokai obviously still available, anything like that. Sejuani not banned, but he's going to go for the Hecarim, and we'll be taking that one. That means Sejuani's still up if Impaler wants it.
Hecarim has a little bit of flex. You can play him out of the jungle if you want to. Nutri doesn't tend to play that much Hecarim though. Prefers Rek'Sai, Nidalee. He's very, very preferential towards that Nidalee pick. Now, these are the two Infused players that we talked about a little bit. They're their replacements. They're not substitutions as such, but the new players on the Infused lineup, Xaxus and Impaler. Xaxus known a lot for his Maokai when he was in LCS. Looks like he might pick up the Rumble here. Yeah,
Rumble very strong, very versatile in that top lane. Can be that linking factor between bringing your team through the early game nice and safely into a more late game scaling composition, but they aren't locking in. That's why you should never sing until the fat lady, I don't know.
You should never sing until the fat lady.
I mean, I've messed it up now. But that's going to be the bot lane locked in for Infused, and like we talked about in analysis, that is Kalista going over to Toaster, and that's going to be Wawa picking up Janna, one of his favourite support champions to pick up and played it quite a lot throughout the entirety of the UK Premiership. Nutri potentially going to be going that Sion jungle with the Hecarim Tundra hovering over the teleport and ignite. It's more than likely going to be Hecarim top now. Actually going to go for the Nidalee right at the last moment. Going to be Quinsk on Nautilus support more than likely. I know Nutri does play support jungle Nautilus from time to time. But with the lock-in and the Nidalee, you can't expect him to play anything
they're not going to push Nautilus into the jungle, have Nidalee mid, and then play another support champion. It's going to be Nautilus support. Against the Janna works pretty well because you have your own shield, and you've got a lot of hard CC to counteract Kalista, who'll be trying to jump all across the map as well. Interestingly, actually, usually when Infused pick that Kalista, they go for the Annie support because they have that all-in engage with the Tibbers. Deciding against that here. Yeah,
I mean, Wawa and Toaster had their problems with the Kalista Annie lane before. This means there's a little bit less required coordination. Obviously, it's not that difficult, but obviously for them, they want to make sure that they keep Toaster surviving as long as possible. So with the Janna, it more relies on Toaster to make the plays more than anything. And it's Sejuani coming through now. Sejuani's made it through to the 4th round of picks and bans, and Xaxus potentially going for that Maokai that he is so good on, been good on across all the time that he played in the top lane.
I think he had a 60% win rate on it in LCS
pretty good.
2014, so he's very strong in that. So Scott hovering over the Vayne here. He does play that Vayne, but it'll be an interesting pickup into a Sejuani and a Maokai who have very good ways of sticking onto an AD carry.
Yeah, but if there is the peel there from Nautilus, if they do manage to keep Vayne safe enough, then it's probably one of the best champions to shred through these beefy tank lines in the form of Maokai and the form of Sejuani. You've got to remember that apart from Toaster right now, there's no real assassination or no real burst damage there to sort of lock that Jinx down. Obviously, lock that Vayne down. So
you still got the mid lane pick from Ulfrin, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ulfrin still has the potential to make a mid lane pick, and I mean, if this could work for a Victor here. This could be a Victor pick that Ulfrin
Victor pick would work well. Ari as well would work
very well
against Vayne. Looks like it's going to be Lucian, which makes a lot more sense. And Ziviz is going to take the Cassiopeia into the mid lane.
We've seen that a lot. Highly contested pick in professional play right now. Cassie top, Cassie mid, Cassie anywhere. She is one of the better mid lane champions. Just because the amount of lane bullying she can do too. She's really, really strong.
Yep, she can be very, very effective. But Infused do have the mid lane pick to counteract this Cassiopeia. There are a few options available here for Ulfrin. He could go for someone a little bit tankier, perhaps a Cho'Gath, just to be able to tank their way through that Cassiopeia damage. But the problem against the Cassiopeia is if you ever get poisoned, you can get chased down very, very easily. Yeah,
or he could pick up something like a Zed, try and survive, or just poke through the use of his shurikens and get to level 6. You can outplay the Cassie ultimate. There is a small animation and a small sound that comes out. You've got about 0.5 seconds to react before the Cassie ultimate lands, so you can use your ultimate as Zed and you'll completely negate that Cassiopeia ultimate.
We've seen Ulfrin play Zed as well. He played it at I-54.
He's played
did very well. Likes to do that split push Zed as well, which works well in this team comp as well.
And it's going to be Victor.
Yeah, the Victor makes sense. You've got that shield from the Siphon Power, going to keep you a little bit tankier against the Casio, and if you upgrade that as well with the Hex Core, you get a bit of extra movement speed.
Yeah, and it is one of his best champions. I mean, he's played incredibly well, and we talked about it on the analysis desk. If you let Ulfrin get to a stage in the late game where he's got the items that he needs, the AP behind him, he will just solo carry through his mechanics. The Chaos Storms he can put down will wipe people off the map. But this is an interesting team compositions going up against each other. You've got a pretty heavy sort of dive composition coming out from FM. If they manage to land the spears, get some poke down with Cassiopeia and Nutri, and then they can all in with Tundra and Quince quite easily and try and clean up from there. You've got very defensive front tank line coming up from Infused. I think a good amount of peel for Toaster and for Ulfrin, and great AoE presence in the form of Chaos Storm. And obviously, if Toaster chooses to go for Ruined Hurricane, become a sort of AoE-based AD carry. So
Infused are playing more of a classical Season 5 comp with the Cinder Hulk. They're playing the double tank meta, an Assassin or Burst Mage behind that, and then an AD carry who can kite pretty well.
They want to get to a stage in the late game. They want to get to late game, essentially. They want to get Toaster to a position where he's really big. They want to get Ulfrin to a position where he's really big. And obviously then Impaler and Xaxus can just get beefy. You know, they'll just be annoying. They'll be hard to deal with. And then they'll provide the CC and the protection for their squishy backline. The other side of FM, they've got a real snowball composition here. I mean, you can't see them doing well if they get behind against the composition with so much engaged like the Infused roster. If Tundra can get going in this game, it's going to be very scary for Toaster, very scary for Ulfrin, because he can potentially dive and take them out himself. But to be honest, Xaxus is in a good position that Maokai does well against a Hecarim in most cases, and that's just because you spam Rampage's Hecarim, which just consistently gives passive stacks to Maokai, and then every time he gets a passive stack locked up, he can just auto-attack, get that health back, and it remains a fairly safe lane. And obviously, Tundra on Hecarim will do well with sustain himself, but you know, every time he uses Rampage, he's just giving Xaxus another stack of his passive.
Yeah, he definitely is. And there's quite a few stacking passives actually in this game. So Xaxus has the Sap Magic passive on Maokai. Every 5 spells he gets some health back and some sustain in the lane. Ziviz has the aspect of the Serpent, so he's going to be looking to building up towards that max stat. If Ziviz can survive for a while and get a couple of good Petrifying Gazes off in fights, he's going to be unstoppable because you get so much extra AP. You get the cooldown reduction as well from that passive. If he can survive in lane, that's going to be really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, he should do okay against Ulfrin. Ulfrin's going to need to get to level 9 before he can clear waves with his Death Ray. Level 9 Victor basically can clear an entire wave of minions with one Death Ray.
Especially if you've got that upgraded Hex Core as well.
You need the upgraded Hex Core. Yeah, you need the upgraded Hex Core, and by level 9 you usually have enough gold to finish that one up, as well as a bit of extra AP. So, you know, Ulfrin's going to have to be careful in lane because Ziviz can bully him. A fairly low mobility mid lane champion like Victor, it's easily exploited in ganks, easily exploited by Cassiopeia's zoning ability. So we'll have to see how Ulfrin decides to play this one out. He's gone for nothing as of yet in terms of leveling up his skill.
Who needs skills? He has the movement, he has the auto attacks coming out from Victor, so he's going to just try and put some pressure down onto Ziviz in the early game. But I think I like this stop from FM. They stop Wawa and Toaster from being able to take that Gromp by themselves, so it pushes them into this lane in a straight experience matchup where sometimes we see the red side being able to take away that Gromp and get a little bit of experience lead, hit that level 2 first, which is actually pretty strong for both of the teams in this lane. If FM hit it first, they can all in. Kunsk will go all in, so Scott can use that Relentless Pursuit to get in, Piercing Light, and that's a lot of damage down. But if Infused get it first, they've got that Howling Gale. It just gives them that little bit of extra safety in the lane.
Anyone that's read anything will know level 2 power spikes are really, really powerful. So that's what they tend to do in the bot lane, and it has been hit. Though under turret, it means that Infuse will be safe. They'll get level 2 fairly quickly off the back of this one. And Nautilus is one of the best supports to invade the jungle with because he just does so much damage with his empowered auto attack from his passive and that Riptide at level 1. He's a real annoyance to have to go up against. And you know, invading a jungle, you know, in a 2v1 situation, or invading a jungle to stop a Gromp happening, it is quite easy to do as a Nautilus.
Tundra starting off with that Crystalline Flask in lane against Maokai. Something people don't realize is the sustained damage that Maokai can put down in the early game in the top lane. He has so much damage from the Twisted Advance, from the Arcane Smash as well, and even Saplings at the early levels do quite a bit just base damage. So Tundra deciding to go for that sustain in the lane with the Crystalline Flask, 4 red pots as well, and those 2 mana potions.
Yeah, level 5 is a big power spike.
Oh, so Scott needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage. He's been exhausted. The rend is available. He has used it, but here comes Sejuani, and Impaler is going to try and take his first influence on this game. He flashes in. He'll get onto Scott, who pops the heal. He'll get away. Comes cast the flash as well. Wawa did burn flash and exhaust there, but 2 flashes burn on the side of FM, and that heal and the ignite all summoners down for that FM bot lane.
Yeah, and on the key target as well, so Scott has lost both of his summoners, Prince has lost both of his summoners. Obviously, Impaler now can't use a flash Arctic Assault in another lane, but it has put the pressure on. And look at the minion wave for Toaster. He is going to be so happy with that result. Put so much pressure down onto Sir Scott and Prince, and it's going to be difficult for them to regain the advantage that they had in the early portions of this game. And already you're seeing Zibbies on this Cassiopeia start to slowly win this lane out against Ulfrin, and that's what we expected Cassiopeia to do.
She's just got so much sustained damage with the Twin Fangs.
And you can see in the top lane, every time Rampage is used, Xaxus is slowly smiling inside, because he can just get that auto attack off and sustain, as you see it there. Level 5 is a big level for Maokai. He gets level 3 in his Arcane Smash. He does a hell of a lot of damage, and actually can usually win fights quite easily against Hecarim before Hecarim picks up his ultimate.
Yeah, that's the reason Tundra went for all of those pots in lane. Hasn't actually bought an item that will stick around into the mid and late game, but he'll be sustaining himself up as much as he can. And once again, it looks like we're going to see the top lane jungle synergy coming out here from FM. They're going to go onto Xaxus. The spear lands. Xaxus has to flash away. Tundra's going to chase with the Rampage. They go in with the ignite as well. Xaxus might go down. The sap magic is not enough. And Burst Blood goes across towards FM Esports.
And that is the synergy that we talk about. Nutri and Tundra, they've known each other for a very long time, played on the same team for a very long time. And they knew that what they needed to do in that gank, and you can see FM starting to take the advantage. And it's good that Tundra picks up a kill against the Maokai, because like we said, it's actually quite difficult to do that solo, even with the ignite, and especially at level 6, when Xaxus gets that damage reduction from his ultimate, which also then, you know, doubles up as that offensive spell when you can do damage. And Nutri, he doesn't give a crap about the reputation of Impaler. He's going 1v1, Sejuani versus Nidalee.
Nutri trying to coast his way towards victory by invading the Impaler's jungle there, but not quite able to get enough damage down. Nutri is a very aggressive jungler, especially when he's on Nidalee. He knows he can escape with that pounce, and just trying to put as much pressure down onto Impaler as possible. Yeah,
and like I said, Impaler had a good gank early in the bot lane, didn't work out for him, and a nice reactionary play by FM gives him a small advantage early on. No vision control going over Dragon right now, so this is something that neither team wants to commit too early to. And to be honest, I think that the best team to pick it off early in the game is Infused. If they get another gank in that bot lane and it works out for them, they have a really quick Dragon team in the form of Kalista. So that's probably something what Impaler is going to be looking to do in the next few minutes. Try and make something happen in that bot lane and then try and rotate and pick up an early Dragon.
Quite possibly Nutri and Impaler not quite going to meet here, but Impaler just waiting around. Actually waits for the Scuttle Crab to leash itself back towards him so he doesn't have to overextend. Zibbies gets taken down by Ulfrin. I totally missed that, and he gets taken out in response. I'm sorry, guys. That was the worst bit of camel work I've done today.
You were so enthralled by your keypad that you just didn't press the right buttons. It's just so nice to look at.
It's the keypads.
And I was too busy researching how good Sandis are.
It looks like it was Ignite Flash. So in favour of Zibbies there, because he did get the kill with the Ignite, but upgraded Hex Core on Ulfrin. He'll be leveling up that Death Wave first, we must expect, which he's done already. So he'll be cleaning out those waves as quickly as he can.
This is the position that Hecarim wants to be in versus a Maokai. Maokai with no mana, he's still alive, he can still sustain it very well, and Maokai having to rely on mana regen to keep himself in the lane, because if Maokai... He
does have double dormants though.
Yes, he will be able to regen mana fairly quickly, but you know, once Maokai has that low mana and you are still alive, there is a window of opportunity for the Hecarim to exploit and try and get as much damage down as possible, knowing that he won't receive much return damage in favor. So Tundra now has his ultimate, is fairly safe in that top lane, unlikely to be caught out easily in a gank, but Xaxus just using that Arcane Smash as the best way he can, which is all the time.
Just use it as often as he can. A tiny CS advantage being picked up for Tundra, and actually, Sir Scott picked up a CS advantage over Toaster, which is quite a surprise considering
20 CS.
That both of the flashes were burnt. I mean, Toaster doesn't have the best laning phase on the Kalista. Janna Kalista sort of like trying to keep Toaster safe as they try and farm up, but 20 CS already from Sir Scott. We saw this recently as well at Ice Series, where Toaster was just a little bit behind on Sir Scott's mechanics. He wasn't quite able to CS as well under these towers and as he was pushed out of the lane. Yeah,
interesting, because they looked like they had the massive advantage from the early gank from Impaler, and with the CS advantage now being in Sir Scott's court, this is it's not looking too...
Oh, wow. Wawa just burnt Howling Gale to try and push this lane. They think FM have gone back, but Kunst and Sir Scott are waiting in the bush. Can they set up a nice little engage? They won't, because Wawa and Tosa do back away off towards the top side of the lane. They need to be careful.
They do need to be careful now. I don't know if they know if Quinsk is there, but I'm guessing they have some idea. Now, they're not
going to see the fear from both teams.
Yeah. The ward's just gone down. They'll have seen the ward animation right there. Yeah. So, 2-1 right now. FM with the minor advantage. Nutri just farming his way through the jungle. Has got that early kill. Impaler obviously on Sejuani. AoE farming, doing as best he can. He's going to try and head towards mid lane, but Ziv is having none of it. And Nutri is in position to counter gank if needed.
That he is. It's a very close game at the moment. Slight gold lead to FM Esports, slight CS advantage across the board to them as well. But a little bit of jungle pressure could spell all the difference here. Nutri once again trying to come round.
Ping's coming down. They know someone is there.
Here comes Impaler. The spear isn't going to connect though. They get the auto attack off. The Chaos Storm has been popped. Petrifying gaze onto Impaler, but Zivis is getting chased down. The Glacial Prism is enough. Impaler picks up the second kill of the game here for Infused. They're going to chase off the Nutri as well. There's the death ray, and that is another kill for Infused. Zazza's, however, getting chased out by Tundra here in the top lane. No Onslaught Shadows, no Ignite. It's already been popped, and they won't be able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, brilliant play by Ulfrin and Impaler in that mid lane, managing to pick up a double kill. Impaler holding on to his ultimate until the last possible moment. A really nice ultimate from Cassiopeia and dodge away. The Petrifying Gaze managing to lock Impaler up, but the flash unfortunately wasn't far enough. Ulfrin managing to pick up yet another kill onto Nutri as well, and here we'll see it again. So happens here, Ziv is overextending ever so slightly. Ulfrin pops the Ghost and the Chaos Storm comes down. At this point you think, yeah, Ziv is dead. Flashes away, but there is the Held ultimate, and Nutri, no man's land, Chaos Storm still going, and all it's going to require is a Death Ray. And that, yeah, brilliant play.
The thing with that is the Petrifying Gaze did stun up Impaler, but because he'd already queued up the Arctic Assault animation, he got the knock up from it. If it had landed before the Arctic Assault had come in, I think Ziviz would have survived. Yeah,
maybe a little bit earlier before the Arctic animation had gone through, but the real key was that he didn't use his ultimate to engage. He saved his ultimate for the flash because he knew that that would happen, which is probably the better play to have made. Obviously, he got them the kill. Nutri, at that point, having seen how little damage Ziviz had managed, probably should have backed off, but he thought maybe he could execute someone there. But gives Infused a small gold boost. They still aren't up to scratch, or they still aren't on level with FM. FM, oh wow, Tundra overextending a little bit here. Zazza's in a really good position.
Tundra doesn't have Onslaught Shadows, doesn't have Rampage, doesn't have much life left. And Zazza's just waiting for that Twisted Advance cooldown. He has got the flash, but there is the Stampede coming out from Tundra, and he will get away, just ring around the mountain there as he escapes up through his own jungle.
That was also a nice play by Tundra. Most people in that situation would have ran directly towards turret, but because of the positioning of Zazas, it allowed Tundra to run away and around, and because he has the boots, gives him the movement speed advantage, and then he just managed to get away with Onslaught Shadows. Nice play there by Tundra, managing to save his life.
Yeah, nicely done by him. Also could have run down the river, but realized there was no help there. So he does manage to escape. Ulfrin clearing out wards. Another pink ward we see in this mid lane bush. Something we've seen a couple of times today. Just try and deny the enemy mid laner as much as you can, because that's the safest bush to ward in as a mid laner. Toaster and Impaler in the bottom lane. Impaler is on a ward himself, so if Kunsk and Sir Scott want to, they can try and bait something in here. Nutri is on his way.
Look at the vision coverage of Infused around that Dragon Pit area, and then look at the reciprocated vision from FM. FM have got pink wards in the top and pink wards around Baron area, and Infused have dominant vision in this river. Triple pink wards, dominant vision around this Dragon Pit right now, and that's probably the key area, and looks like Impaler wants to make something happen again.
He's going on to Ziviz again in the mid lane. The Glacial Prism will land, and Ziviz will go down. Ulfrin will get hit by that spin. Nutri decides against going in as soon as that gravity field is popped. Ulfrin survives. He's 3-1 now on this victory. You said it was a comfort pick. Well, he's very comfortable at the moment. Tundra and Zazas facing up in the top lane. Not a huge amount going to happen. It's a bit of a handbag fight there at the moment.
To be honest, this is all down to that vision control like we were talking about that Infused have in the river. If FM had any vision control in that river around the Dragon Pit whatsoever, they should have seen Impaler coming. But Impaler is getting free roam around this river area, going round the back into the red side entrance jungle of FM, and then just getting free ganks onto this mid lane. And it's costing FM a lot right now. A 3-1 victor is a very, very scary prospect.
They stole away the blue buff as well, so good objective control after those kills. Lots of people will see, just take the kill and say, oh, well, we got some gold, we got a bit of an advantage, let's go back and play defensive. But going into the enemy jungle, knowing that Nutri was stuck in the mid lane, they take away that blue buff, it denies it from Cassio, and she relies on mana so much, and that cooldown reduction is very strong on her with the Petrifying Gaze coming up more often. Abyssal
Scepter already finished up for Ulfrin, so he'll be safer than ever versus this Cassiopeia. And getting toe-to-toe with her, he'll have that magic resist reduction and probably be able to out-damage her too. So again, Ziv is not in a great position on this Cassio right now. He has to be a little bit more careful. Obviously, he will scale. I mean, I guess the way they kick works slightly differently, but he will scale fairly well into this late game, but maybe not as well as Ulfrin will. In that top lane, you're starting to see the advantage that Hecarim loses to Maokai at points. Maokai, once he gets that Catalyst, then picks up some armor, can very easily duel with Tundra just because of the fact he gets his passive so regularly and takes a lot less damage because he's got that extra armor. So
this is actually a build we see really commonly on Marvin's Maokai. What he'll do is he'll go Catalyst, Glacial Shroud, and then he'll build a Spectre's Cowl, so that when he gets into these mid-game team fights, he's not all magic resist or all armor. Yeah,
so what generally tends to happen is you see Catalyst come down and then you go towards a Frozen Heart early, or you build portion of Frozen Heart and go towards Righteous Glory. Very rarely do you see Maokai build that Rod of Ages in the top lane anymore, because it's just more effective for the team to build the Righteous Glory. So you build the Catalyst, then you start to focus on resistances, then you build the Righteous Glory so that you have that engage potential around the mid-game and in small skirmishes.
You see a little bit of a fight in the bot lane, Toaster having to back away from Kunsk and Sir Scott, who once again are ahead on CS, but Toaster already got that Bloodthirster, he's building himself up. And actually really interesting build here from Nutri. He's gone for a Tyrix counter.
Yeah, so this is going to delay a lot of the damage that Nutri will be able to put out. He's really just looking to get towards a later stage of the game where he's going to have a lot of pressure through high AP values. And Ulfrin, you can see that was a max range spear. Had Nutri gone basically full AP, but here we go in the bot lane.
The Monsoon was absolutely gorgeous from Wawa. Knocks the Scott back as he tried to Relentless Pursuit away. He still had Flash, but with Impaler there's nothing going. And they're going to rotate up towards this Dragon. A great little fight there by Infused in the bot lane. Ulfrin starts up the Dragon, and Impaler, Toaster, and Wawa should be able to pick this one up for free.
Yeah, I don't even think FM are going to risk anything by going for this Dragon. And you're seeing just the prowess of Impaler in this jungle right now. A bit like Maxlaw, dominating from the offset, been involved in 90% of his team's or 80% of his team's kills, and Nutri managed to pick up that early kill in the top lane, but has had very little success otherwise. Impaler has arguably got the stronger of the two junglers right now in this current meta, and is really making use of how powerful Sejuani can be.
Nutri once more trying to push Impaler back. He's coming for a couple of counter ganks, but Impaler, now he's tanky. He's got that Cinder Hulk, he's got his Sightstone as well, just denying as much vision as he can and gaining vision in the enemy jungle. Something he's done very well this game. There's already 3 wards around the red buff on the side of FM Esports, so Infused know exactly what's happening at all times.
You can see Tundra, he's just really struggling. He can't do any damage to Zaz at this point. He's overextended a bit. Zaz is looking to get the kill here. Luckily, Tundra, with those upgraded boots, can escape fairly easily. But this is what happens to a Hecarim in the top lane.
Glacial Shroud on Kunsk. There's the Death Charge. He might go down. The Chaos Storm will chase him, but it's not enough. Here comes Nutri. Here comes Zivis. So much damage. Nutri picks up the kill. The teleport's coming in behind him as well. Impaler and Wawa are going to have to run for their lives because the Scott is here. Tundra's here with the home guards as well. The onslaught shadows across the wall, and Wawa's going to go down. Impaler, the next target. Zazas and Toaster trying to do what they can. Can they fight this one out?
Sir
Scott flashes in and he pierces their light away. Zazas is going to get a lot of damage done. The rend is huge, and Tundra chasing on to Toaster. The Marshall poise, is it going to be enough? Can Toaster kite? Can he do it? No, he can't. Yes, he can. And Kunsk misses the anchor at the end.
He misses the anchor.
Toaster survives, and it was such a close fight. 4 for 3. Oh, 4 for 4, because did Kunsk go down?
Yeah, Kunst didn't go down, no, not right at the start. So what happened there was a massive overextension from the Infused line. We're going to see it. So here we see Quince has got caught out. Impaler really going for him. Ulfrin has popped the Ghost, and they group up massively. Big Spear comes down and hits Ulfrin, and look at this ultimate. The flash and hits, doesn't knock anyone up, but it hits the damage across 3 members. And obviously Hecarim teleporting in with Home Guards is going to be far more powerful than a Maokai teleporting in, and a brilliant Onslaught of Shadows. Yeah, manages to catch out Wawa, and you'll see at the end here, Tundra does get caught off by, because he just tries too hard to take out Toaster, but very aggressive by Sir Scott, gets taken out by the Rend as well. But all of that was an overextension by Infuse, and a brilliant ultimate coming out from Ziviz. You don't need to hit the stun for a Cassiopeia to have a great ultimate. As long as the damage goes down, the slow goes down, allows you to apply as much poison as possible, that'll always be good. Ulfrin right now, he's going up against an Abyssal Scepter as well now, so now that Cassie has picked her own Abyssal Scepter up, she'll be a little bit more happy in that mid lane too. But look at this, one auto attack from going down, this is going to go down.
Ulfrin will pick up the mid lane tower. However, Tundra's coming in on that Hecarim. Impaler's going to ward across the wall. There's the Arctic Assault, but Ulfrin needs to be careful because Cassio's here as well. The damage from Ziviz is huge, and he's on a killing spree now. 4-3-2 takes down the Victor. The Glorious Machine goes down once more. And like, yes, it was a bad fight from Infused in the jungle. They have got a 3-0 Toaster now, though, so if they can keep that Kalista safe, he'll be melting through this FM lineup. The problem for them is Tundra is doing a great job of getting behind people and getting these ganks off. Yeah, so Impaler looked a little bit dumbfounded there as Tundra just ran past him and managed to get a full onslaught of Shadows down onto Ulfrin. So right now, Tundra's still looking to make plays across the map because he knows he just cannot stay in lane and easily 1v1 this Maokai. There's nothing he's going to gain from this. And obviously Impaler looking to exploit something here as well. Onslaught of Shadows is available, as well as Devastating Onslaught, Devastating Charge too. So there's a lot of escape tools for Tundra, but Impaler still sticking around. Yeah. Impaler does have that Glacial Shroud. Tundra, of course, doesn't have Flash, so if it's timed properly, they can definitely get the damage down. Xaxis does go aggressive, and it looks like Impaler's just backed away. Mid lane tower does go down to Ziviz. Ulfrin not able to fight up against that Cassiopeia, who has 260 stacks already, so we'll be hitting that 500 stack mark probably about 35-40 minutes, and that's quite early in a game of this nature. Yes, very much so. Tundra is he's going to struggle until he picks up some defensive items, to be honest. Oh, is he going to get away here? No, he's not. Xaxis has popped the Righteous Glory. There is the sapling chasing him down. The Onslaught of Shadows will get him away, though. Just pushes him around the side. Depth Charge is on Toaster, though. He's going to get locked up. Can he marshal Cadence his way? He dodges the Anchor Toss, but he will get stunned by that staggering blow. Toaster gets ignited, flashes the wall, and he'll survive. Nice little escape by him. The dodge of the Anchor was absolutely massive. He knows how to use that martial poise so well. I mean, we talked about it in the analysis. Toaster is absolutely fantastic on Kalista, and 3-0-0. He's already picked up his Bloodthirster, working towards, I believe that's going to be a Blade. No, it's going to be a Ruin's Hurricane, so it is going to go for that more AoE focused AD carry that you see on Kalista. We're pushing waves very quickly too. So yeah, Toaster is the one to take down here for Infused, and he's having an absolutely brilliant game. And despite Xaxis being 0-2-2, he is beefy right now as well. Yeah, that's the thing with Maokai. You don't need to win your lane. You don't need to get a bunch of kills. You get that Righteous Glory, you get a Frozen Heart, you're going to be absolutely massive. And it's very difficult to deal with you, especially since if we look at FM, apart from the Unstoppable Onslaught, and the Depth Charge, they're going to have a difficult time getting onto Toaster. Yeah, very much so. And looks like Tundra again has to back away from Xaxis. But yeah, you were completely right. Not much there in the form of dive. You're going to have to either get a good Cassiopeia ultimate, a Depth Charge, or a good Dredge line, or a good Onslaught of Shadows. Nutri may have the potential to hit a good Spear, but knowing Toaster, it's going to be difficult to lock him down with a Spear because, you know, it's Toaster, he's on Kalista, he can dodge very easily. 10 seconds till the next Dragon. FM looking to get control of this Dragon Pit, and don't manage to get the last few hits on that Pink Ward, which does deny a bit of vision that they might want to get down, but they have got control of this, I guess, mid-sided river area. Impaler already has the upgraded Oracle's Lens, as does Wawa, so they'll be able to sweep out this area if they decide to pressure it. Luden's Echo finished on Nutri, so going for that long-range poke is what we expected when we were talking about him in Pixie Fans. Yeah. He either does that or he goes for a Rod of Ages build, but he wasn't far enough ahead to go for that build this time. So still got 242 AP, he's sitting on a fair amount. Ulfrin himself is on 347, so from the jungle, Nutri's not doing too bad. 373 on Cassiopeia, he's really powerful at this point in time. And with a Cassie
And what just happened there, Infused just backed off and allowed the Dragon to go straight over to FM. So it's one Dragon apiece, which will be great for Cassiopeia. She really loves bonus AP. That's always good for her. Obviously, they changed it so that the bonus AP that she gets from her passive doesn't also get applied with the Dragon increase. So, I mean, that was ridiculous. You could end up with like 1,000, 1,200 AP with Cassiopeia. Ward coming down onto Baron now that it's available, and Tundra is just going to back off. Very close to finishing that Trinity Force, but went for the Spectre's Cowl beforehand because he knew that he was really suffering in lane versus Zavis.
That he was. Toaster, while we're going to push up the bottom lane. I think the reason Infused gave up that Dragon is the second Dragon doesn't really give you a huge amount with this sort of lineup. They're not looking for tower pressure. If they are going to take down towers, they're going to get kills before they do it, just because that's kind of the way their team comp works. And then, along with that, Tundra had his home guards and had gone back to base. So he'd be able to home guard teleport into the fight, whereas Zazas would just be joining the fight with, yes, a Righteous Glory Frozen Heart, but he doesn't have that same impact when he joins the fray. So
Sescott is freezing this bot lane out here, actually, at the last minute, just culls a bit of the wave. But yeah, he's trying to freeze this bot lane out here and going to deny Toaster some farm. There isn't much on the map that can go awry apart from the blue screen that everyone is seeing right now.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm sure we'll get that sorted out for you in just a second. Zaz and Tundra facing up in the top lane. I do like a good old blue screen. It looks pretty stylish.
And right now we're seeing shades of blue, and you can see the blue team.
Are we seeing 50 of them?
Yes, we're not seeing 50 of them.
50 shades of blue.
Yeah. Right now you can see the blue team is doing well against the blue team, as there is an entirety of blue across the map. Vision control for the blue team is obviously brilliant.
Oh, they're actually going to go into Zivitz. He will get taken down. The Glacial Prism was gorgeous from Impaler. Zazas teleporting in as well. They'll get this inner tower. It's what we said, they're not looking to wait before they take them towers. They're getting the fights, they're getting the frays, and they're taking down the enemy team. Wawa did take a spear to the face at the end of that, but 9-7 in favor of Infused. The gold is about 2,000 ahead for them as well, and they'll just back away after taking that inner tower in the middle lane.
It's like a radio broadcast now.
Yeah.
Doing a radio broadcast.
It's classic esports here. This is where caster comes from. We are broadcasting. Zaz is going to walk up towards the top lane where he'll find Tundra, but Zaz still having his tower up there on the red side means that he will be able to just try and push out Tundra in this lane a little bit. It's been a relatively even game thus far, but Infused probably taking a little advantages here and there.
Yeah, Infused just chipping away, you would say, at the FM guys. They're just getting the engages when they can, trying to single people out. I mean, that freeze for Scott in the bot lane meant that Infused had the excuse to just go all in on the mid lane on that Cassiopeia. And it meant that Ziviz was a very easy target once the Infused lineup had grouped. Actually, grouping is pretty good for Infused at this point because they have big power spikes. They have really big power spikes having been hit. They've got the Rabadon's death cap on the Victor. That is massive. Loads of AD coming down.
520 AP on that Victor already.
Loads of AD coming down onto Toaster. A lot of defensive items coming out for both Impaler and Zazas. So Infused it in a good spot right now. And FM just want to extend this a bit further. They want to try and put themselves into a later game position as well, where you've got Nutri trying to get that Archangel staff.
Oh, Ulfman's going to get caught out. There's the spear as well. He'll get taken out by Kunz. No, Zivis comes in from the side. A beautiful one-2 by Wawa, but he might go down. He will to Nutri. And Toaster and Ulfman backing away towards their inner tower in the middle lane, while FM managed to get the pick there. Kunz with a good dredge line helps them pick out Ulfman, who flashes away. And then the petrifying gaze from Zivis in the mid lane means that they pick up the kill onto Wawa.
Anything you can do, I can do equally as good with the Nautilus. Because that is what Nautilus can provide to your team. He is a solo pick champion. If he hits the dredge line, he has got oodles of CC to throw down onto a singular target. And you saw it just there. Two mid laners actually getting caught out for both teams. So nice play. Actually, Tundra having problems with Zazas. Zazas can do what he likes at this point in time. Tundra just does not have the 1v1 prowess as the Hecarim versus the Maokai. Hecarim classically is not going to do too much to a tank that's starting to stack armor, so Tundra really trying to play safe here. But Impaler, he really wants to make something happen in this top lane. And
he's being spotted out here. They pinged him out as he came out, so they must have seen him on a ward somewhere.
Yeah, he takes away this Gromp, and Nutri just clearing that ward out. Nutri is sitting there as a kind of ward against ganking Tundra in this top lane. Every time Impaler attempts to make something happen or show his presence in the top lane, Nutri's there, he's waiting, ready to sort of land a max range spear. And the fact that he's already stacked up to a Ceres Embrace on the immediate buy of it, he's actually going to be fairly scary to deal with. Sitting on 381 AP right now, so
They've got double Ceres, double Ludens, and they've even lined them up for us on the screen just to make it a little bit more obvious.
A lot of burst going on there, actually.
There is a Locket of the Iron Solari picked up on Impaler, though, so he'll be able to just tank up a little bit of that, provide his team that magic resist they need as well.
Yeah, Impaler just beautiful.
Oh, Open gets caught, though. The teleport coming in from FM and Open. Oh, what the damage onto Tundra comes in with the Onslaught of Shadows. Costa Walton, Impaler is being ignited. The spear comes in. He'll go down. A gorgeous glacial prison, though. He's just about to get taken out. So Scott almost getting destroyed there by Open, but not quite enough. They need to be careful, though, because here comes Zazas. And meanwhile, Toaster joins in. Wawa goes in there with the base. Zivez is the target, and he's out of position. He gets Gravity Welled to his doom, and Toaster is burning through Zivez right now. We will see Infused with this 4-man lineup left alive. But it looks like they're going to go for Baron.
Yeah, they're going to go straight onto that Baron area. And Paler is down, but they don't think that anyone can contest it. FM don't have the vision right now to know that it's happening, but I think they realize that they're in that kind of area. They're going to back off, though. Yeah, I mean, what happened there, it was, unfortunately, Quince, not particularly the tankiest of fellas right now. Like cannon straight into Ulfrin, and that's what a Victor can do. Wipe you off the map with that Chaos Storm. Next Dragon is up. This is likely going to be going over to Infused. I don't think FM are going to react to this. They're just going to try and gain a bit more control over their top side, their blue side jungle, and get some control around that Baron. That's the real objective that they're worried about being taken down in the next few minutes.
The big thing here is as well, you said Kunst isn't as tanky as he could be. He's going for Mikhail's first. Something we really rarely see on Nautiluses, because they like to get that tankiness. Even a Face of the Mountain, he's forgone all of that supporty items to go for the Mikhails so that he can help out Scott, so that he can help out Zivez if they get caught out in that glacial prison. Yeah,
that's good. He needs it. There's a lot of CC coming in from the Infused lineup. Just means that he won't be tanky enough to engage by himself and expect to survive, despite having that shield. Not sitting on much base health right now, not sitting on, well, any health at all for a Nautilus is 1,800, which is quite low for a champion like Naut. Like you said, hasn't even upgraded the first relic shield, so foregone all that, going straight for the Mikhails. But because he hasn't had the biggest contribution to fights, the biggest contribution to skirmishes, he's only got 1 assist, kind of starved of gold this game, so difficult for him, and especially since he didn't upgrade that gold generation item, he's struggling even further.
He definitely is. I mean, compare him to Wawa. Wawa has 1.5, 2 completed items along with that Sightstone. He's very, very strong at the moment. He's even got 1,560 HP. Like, he's only 150 HP behind or so. So Wawa doing a good job with his team. Toaster 5-0 on that. Callista has picked up a QSS for herself. So with that petrifying gaze, if that comes down, he'll be able to get out of it, along with the fear coming out from Tundra. And it looks like Infused are willing just to set up a split push here. They know that there's no teleport on Tundra because he used it in that last fight. Zazas will go down towards the bottom lane. And Impaler and the rest of the gang are trying to set up a little bit of a bait mate. But it doesn't look like it's going to work.
I rate 0 out of 8.
0 out of 8, mate.
But no, I mean, good play. I mean, they're just giving Zazas the time to put pressure in the bot lane, forcing Tundra to deal with it. As soon as Tundra shows bot, I imagine that the Infused lineup will want to pressure this Baron area, or at least try to vie for Baron vision control, and you're seeing it already. They're just stacking up in that Baron area. They don't know if FM know about this. There is a ward on Baron, though, so FM aren't yet too bothered.
Yeah, so they're going to clear this out. As you said, there's a ward in that Baron pit at the back, but Impaler's going forward. What can they do here? They clear out a ward. They get hit by the javelin toss coming out from Nutri, and Infused will just back away. Toaster, the last of the team to retreat out of that blue side jungle for the side of FM, pops the Sentinel down, and we'll be able to spot out Nutri as he rotates around towards his own blue.
Yeah, bit of a wet noodle fight happening in the bot lane rather. Tundra and Zazas going toe to toe, but nothing coming of it as of yet. Stalemate right now.
The game's slowed down. Yeah, it really has.
Both teams are basically the same goal at this point in time. 51,000 each, nearly 52,000, and yeah, the game has slowed down considerably. Infused aren't sure when and where they want to engage. They don't want to risk going too aggressive because they know that there's a big potential for FM to turn things around. And FM don't want to engage regardless. They want to get some more items onto their carries. They want to get Nutri with a bit more AP in his back pocket. They probably want to get a bit more AP on Zivez too. So both teams going for the late game. Who, in your opinion, has the better late game composition?
It's a difficult one to decide, because if you have enough poke coming out from FM, Zivez is only going to keep scaling into late game. Lucian pretty good as you get to that 6-item spike as well, along with Hecarim, who does fall off a little bit, and Nutri, it's only going to get more AP for those spears. But the double tank meta at the moment is so strong as you get later into the game. All you're doing is buffing up that Cinderhulk health that you get. And Maokai, such a strong team fighter. Along with a big Kalista, I think I'm going to give it to Infused.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in every sense. I think you've got enough damage to carry through the late game through Kalista and through Ulfrin, but there's just more frontline tanking here.
Oh, Glacial response to Nutri. He needs to be careful. He will flash away. Tundra just around the corner. Look at the damage onto Tundra. Only got that one defensive item in that Spirit Visage, and the Mikaros comes out to keep him alive. Zaza's going to push back, and they're going to retreat towards the Baron. Makes perfect sense. They got Nutri's flash. He's still on high HP because he's got that heal, of course, and they will pop out that scrying orb. The Baron going down to about 7,500 HP. Here comes Tundra with the TP. He's got home guards as well. Impaler retreats up towards the top side. Nutri there, but Ilfrin has to flash away into the Baron pit. Meanwhile, the Cullen comes out. A nice monsoon from Wawa is going to knock Kunsk into the wall. What can Toaster do? He's dodging, he's ducking, he's diving. He's getting that QSS down, but it's a double kill for Tundra. And they managed to clean house here. FM Esports with the Tundra teleport came in and cleaned up the fight. Now they're going to start the Baron themselves. Can Zaza stop this?
What can Zazas do here? 1v3 against a Cassie who is going to absolutely shred this Baron. Let's look at this again. A big commit to the Baron by Infused, but they only got Tundra down. Tundra can come straight back with that home guard teleport. And you see here, Impaler on the wrong side of nowhere. Unfortunately, Toaster also caught out. He's completely stuck in the middle of the fight. As soon as Tundra is done with Ulfrin, he goes straight onto Toaster, and Nutri is still on the back line to clear up. 3 big champions left, Tundra, Ziviz, and Nutri means they clean up the Baron very, very easily.
I feel like Infused forgot about the teleport.
Yeah.
Because they were like, it was great. Tundra's down, yeah, he has to go back to base. There's no way he's going to get back in time. He TP's in, and you can see their faces just drop. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, home guard on Hecarim. He backs, he immediately gets full health, can come straight back in, more powerful than before. They didn't quite have an indication. They thought Onslaught of Shadows is down. Great, Onslaught of Shadows is gone. We don't need to worry. But obviously, home guard with devastating charge can still practically half-shot someone. And you saw it there onto Ulfrin. He took a lot of damage. And what's even more important is that Ulfrin's Chaos Storm was down. Why would FM not want to fight in that situation? FM are basically saying, Chaos Storm gone. That's basically half your damage.
Glacial Prison was down as well.
Yeah, Glacial Prison and Chaos Storm are gone. That's half your damage and half your CC. We can fight this. We can fight this really easily, and they did. And they cleaned house. It was a really good play by FM.
We do see the Blade of the Ruin King completed on Toaster. He is now a full 3 items along with that QSS and the pickaxe probably going towards the last whisper you must expect. And he's going to try and join this fight here. Good pushes for FM in both the top and the bottom lane, and we do see Tundra preparing himself. He's waiting in the bush. He's playing the fool, and will Infused be fooled by this one? They haven't seen him on the map. Toaster starting up the dragon, and here comes Tundra. He pops out Shadows. Ulfrin is the target, but Toaster and Ulfrin are still alive. Tundra's going to go very low. Kunsk is there as well. Nice one from Wawa to knock him back towards the fray. And they pick up 2. Infused can keep chasing this if they want to. Ulfrin going forward with that Siphon Power. Movement speed buff, but they decide against continuing their push. Ulfrin does take a bit of damage from that spear. The Javelin's doing a lot from Nutri, as we said. Toaster will dodge it though with the Martial Poise. Ziviz and Nutri are still here, along with Scott. All the damage is available for FM. Nutri's going to try and steal with the Javelin toss, but the Dragon isn't there. And Infused will pick up their 3rd Dragon of the game. They're 3,000 gold behind, but they're getting a couple of good fights.
I've got to say, that was a poor Onslaught of Shadows.
It looked like it kind of connected, but it was no.
It didn't connect with anybody. It allowed him to get into position to use his devastating charge effectively, but it didn't no one landed in the fear. No one was feared from that. And it meant that Tundra was immediately, I guess, exposed to both the burst from Toaster and both the burst from Ulfrin. So unfortunately, he went down, was almost useless that entire fight. And it's just a shame. Essentially, he Onslaughted a Shadowed literally around 0.5 seconds too early.
Yeah, he needed to take 3 or 4 steps and then go for it.
3 or 4 units forwards and he would have been in a better position with a double fear. It just came off a little bit too early there. And Infused, like we said, if you're not catching out one of those backline, if you're not getting one of those backline down very quickly, like we saw in the fight around the Baron Pit where Ulfrin went down very quickly, you're not going to win fights easily because they've got so much peel, they've got 2 massive frontline. And Nutri, to be honest, if Nutri's not landing spears on those targets, I feel like FM are going to be in a really, really poor position.
They hadn't poked down before that fight started either. It was because Infused went for the Dragon. That's what we've been talking about that a little bit in the last game as well. You force your opponents into making decisions sooner than they'd like to. They know FM have a poke team, so they're just like, well, we'll just start the Dragon. We're not going to fight you. We'll just start it and you have to engage.
Exactly. What happened there was that they engaged the Dragon, Tundra was like, I am flanking here. I am being helpful. There's 2 carries on my side. I can lock them up and you can follow in. But unfortunately, just that Onslaught Shadows. And like you said, it is just forcing teams to make decisions that they don't want to make. And that is exactly what happened there. Infused, they are really confident right now. They just want to push through this bot lane. They might be behind on gold, but they're definitely ahead in terms of where they feel they are in the game. Nice clear, though, coming out from the
Oh, Zivis is going to be the target. He pops the Seraph, and here comes Azaz into the middle of the whole fight. Kunz gets destroyed once more. And Infused will just back away with that 1 kill. They pop the Chaos Storm, they pop the Glacial Prism, so they're not going to keep fighting for it. Ulfrin did take quite a bit of damage, and the spear is blocked there by Wawa. But Infused on the front foot, time after time. Toaster does take a lot of damage. This is where FM actually have a good position because they've got the spears, they've got the static shiv on Lucian to give him a little bit more wave play as well, so they can hold under towers pretty easily.
I still don't feel like these Nidalee spears are doing that much damage, though. They don't feel like they're chunking as hard as they potentially could be.
I think if you were Ulfrin, you would feel like they're chunking as hard as they potentially could be.
It just when we see them, it's like, oh, it's taking a quarter of his life away. They're not going to be too...
We're so used to Nucci getting really ahead on his Nidalee. He gets that Rod of Ages, then he builds Luden's Echo Seraphs as well, and a Rabadon.
It's the Locket of the Iron Solari. It's also the...
Unstoppable Onslaught used by Tundra, but the flash away there by Ulfrin.
Yeah, it's the Abyssal Scepter plus Locket of the Iron Solari is doing...
And the Quicksilver Sash as well.
Doing major work in terms of defense for magic resist for these guys. And Nutri, I think, probably needs a Void Staff at some point. I think a Void Staff needs to come on either Nutri or Zivis fairly soon. Now, Zivis has picked up a
Blasting Wand.
A Blasting Wand, so he looks like he potentially could be going
I think Nutri will probably go Rabadons before he goes Void Staff, just because he's
already obviously he's got the needlessly large rod. He's going to go Rabadons next, but Void Staff needs to come out at some point. He's picked up some mana potions because obviously he won't be getting the blue buff. That'll be going over to Zivis, and it's actually quite mana hungry to keep spamming spears like that. And you're saying time again, Quince is going in, but he's just not tanky enough. He wants to be there to put CC down in the middle, but he's just getting blown up. He is going to go 1v1 versus Impaler, but he will just Arctic Assault across the wall. Blew that dredge line a little bit early. I think he thought Impaler was going to Arctic Assault before he did, but there you go.
And the problem as well for FM is because Nutri's gone for this really aggressive build, there's no defensive stats for the team.
Yeah.
You look at the Locket of the Iron Solari, the Randuins as well coming out from Impaler on that Sejuani, gives so much to the team. And Zazas as well.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at Nutri, he's gone all aggressive, and that means that Kunsk is left as the one who needs to pick up the defensive items for the team. He's only got the Mikhails. He's building towards Aegis now, but this is so delayed. We're 40 minutes in.
He did have a Crystalline Bracer. He sold it. He sold his Crystalline Bracer and is now going towards the Locket of the Iron Solari. So, yeah, a little bit of, I guess, waste of gold coming out here for Quince. But you're right, they need the Locket of the Iron Solari, and like you said, no one is in a position to build it because Nutri has gone so aggressive.
There we are. He's got his Aegis now, so that gives them a little bit of tankiness as a team.
You need to utilize this AP Nidalee heavily to make it work. And, you know, Nutri's 3-2-7. It's not the worst game in the world, but you just feel as if it's not having that much of an impact. You see there, Wawa, it's a fifth of his health. He's not going to be too stressed about that.
Yeah. The thing, as we said before, Infused, every member of them has magic resist. You've got Spirit Visage top lane, Locket of the Iron Solari, along with Merc Treads.
Oh my word, Quinn.
So much damage onto Kunsk again. He gets pushed back by the Chaos Storm, and that's probably a little bit less than Infused would have wanted from that use of the ultimate. But Chaos Storm, relatively short cooldown. It'll be back up in about 80 seconds or so. So a minute and a half before they can really go for another fight.
Yeah, but that is for FM that they want to be able to fight when Chaos Storm is down. That's a really big AoE presence. And Quince, oh my word, 2 auto attacks does almost as much damage as the Nidalee spear onto Wawa. Quince is really struggling at this point.
That he is, and once again we see a little bit of stalemate, but Tundra looks like he's going to try and engage. Quince splashes in, Ultimate is the target, there's the depth charge onto him, so Scott is going to get a huge amount of damage down. Nutri gets the kill, the monster comes out from Wawa. Toaster's still alive though, and what can he do? He's going to get onto Tundra, Nutri the target now, and Zazas is in the backline. Tundra trying to retreat away, and Quince going very low once more. Infused have decided to turn away from this one because Zivit's joined the fray. And FM Esports do get a good engage down to Ulfrin. You said they want to engage when that Chaos Storm is downward. That's what they did, and they pick up the kill. Yeah,
and they're going to go for Baron now. This is risky for Infused. Sorry, this is risky for FM. They haven't got the vision cleared here. They're going to go straight for it. Obviously, there's a lot missing, but Toaster is still alive. Nutri is there. Is this Infused?
Tundra has TP.
Tundra does have TT.
He's backing away. This is going to be really interesting because as soon as he gets back, he's going to teleport in somewhere. Impaler down to about 500 HP. Zaz is low as well.
Oh, they got it! They got it!
They get the Baron. Nutri and Impaler fighting off against each other. Impaler wins the fray, but Zaz is trying to get onto Zivius and Scott.
He goes down!
He can't do anything because Tundra takes him out with that teleport with the home guard, and it's a triple kill for Scott and FM Esports doing all they can around this Baron. Twice now we've seen them win Baron fights. Can they take that and now push for the game?
Yeah, they're going to go for this red buff, going to take the top lane turret, which has already gone down. You're going to see it here. Baron is really low. Nutri manages to execute it, but goes down to Impaler. Now, you need to look at the positioning. That was a brilliant, brilliant ultimate from Ziviz, but Toaster gets very aggressive. And you can see here, Tundra did so much damage right there. Even with the exhaust, Tundra did so much damage, and they're going to try and get this top lane inhibitor. All of that was Toaster's positioning. He was really far in. He thought he could do much damage. It's much more damage than he could. He thought he'd be able to carry that one through just by being Kalista, but unfortunately, you know, Sir Scott, he's not doing as little damage as you may think. He's got a lot of items in his back pocket. In fact, equal on items with Toaster.
Once again, if the teleport hadn't been there, if Hecarim hadn't come in with teleport home guards, Infused win that fight. Because he, Toaster could take out Sir Scott and Ziviz.
The only reason FM did it is because they knew that, that Tundra could come in.
Definitely.
And I don't think Infused are fully respecting the fact that Tundra is a giant raging pony who can teleport across the map and one-shot you.
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash.
Tundra facing up against Impaler once more, but not a huge amount Impaler can do here. The Dragon is up. It will be the second of the game here for FM. If Infused could get this, this would give them a little bit of an impetus into the middle and the later points.
Prince is going for it, though.
Prince is going in onto Open, who has to flash away. The depth charge has landed, but Tundra gets locked up there. And there are spears from the side here from Nutri. He's doing what he can. Open pushes Tundra back, and here comes Toaster as well. He's going to join the fight from the top side. Actually decides to stay in the middle lane, and Infused, you should just back off.
Yeah,
There's no point fighting this.
No, FM should definitely just get away. They've got too low on Quinsk and too low on Tundra, but yeah, I think that's good. I actually don't think that's too bad for FM. That's just depth charge for a flash on a key target. And like we said, if you can take out Ulfrin in a fight, Toaster is not as big of a threat as Ulfrin right now. Ulfrin is the real reason that Infused win these team fights. FM overextending here. They're going to get collapsed on by the Infused lineup, but they're going to go onto Ulfrin. He hasn't got flash.
Onto Ulfrin, but there's a good monsoon from Wawa to knock Tundra away. Tundra takes a lot of damage, and meanwhile the rest of Infused are going to try and flank round the side, as you said. So Scott is on Zazas. Zazas has to be a tanky man here on this Maokai, but here comes Toaster. A little bit overextended, perhaps. Tundra gets to the Toaster in the middle of the fight. Ziviz gets the kill onto Ulfrin, and Zazas goes low as well. He gets taken down by Sir Scott.
Oh my
Toaster
god.
only gets Kunsk, and Ziviz cleaning up that fight. He gets a double, he gets a triple. Will he be able to get onto Impaler as well? He's going to chase. There's a
quadra kill.
It's a quadra for Ziviz on the Snake. Slithers his way into the victory here for FM Esports. They turn it on his head. It looked like Infused might have had it with the flank, but FM will take the win here in this first game of a best of 3.
FM showing that team play means more than individual skill, and they run away with a very grueling first game. It was a bit of a gauntlet there for FM, but some really key teleport.